Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Magenest, a pro webinar with a topic of B2B e-commerce customer experience. So I am Jane, currently international sales consultant here at Magenest. I will be the host and also the speaker of the webinar today. And joining with me, we also have Miss Hayley Wan. Hayley is currently solutions consultant in Adobe Singapore, working with customers throughout the Asia Pacific region for almost 10 years now. Hi, Hayley. Can you say hi to our audience?
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Hayley.
All right. So for the agenda of the webinar, we will have 4 main content pillars and a Q&A section at the end of the webinar. So for the first section, we will be talking about some interesting trends and statistics about B2B customer expectation these days. Moving on to the second part, we will talk a little bit more about how to build a customer-centric B2B e-commerce journey. In the third part, we will be meeting with Hayley, and she will share with us about Adobe solution and how it can help you build a customer-centric B2B e-commerce system. In the fourth part of the content agenda, we will be sharing with you a story about our client Integrate AB and their journey to transform the digital experience for their B2B customers. And last but not least, we will have a Q&A section at the end. So let me know that if you have any questions for us throughout the webinar, then just send them in the chat box and then we can go through them at the end. Okay, so for the first part of the webinar, let's talk about how B2B customers have increased their expectations on the buying journey, especially these days. So if you talk to a B2B company selling to B2B customers, let's say 5 or 10 years ago, their question would be if they should invest in digital, because the traditional way of selling is still working and everybody is doing the same thing basically. So why should I invest in it if there is not a need? But that is not the case anymore, especially after the pandemic. So now if you talk to them, then the question is no longer if they should invest in e-commerce or in digital, but it's a question of how they should invest in digital and how they can overcome the obstacles when it comes to changing the way they are interacting, they are serving their customers. So what are the latest observations on the B2B customers' behaviors? So there are a few stats that I find interesting enough to share with you in the webinar today. So let's go through them. So the first statistic here, you can see 49% of B2B spending is online, and that is for global. So almost half the B2B spending is via any online channel, and this number is predicted to go up to 57% in a 5 years time. So we would have to give this up to the pandemic and the working from home habit that have made a major push for digital. So working from home has changed the way people buy stuff, and then research have shown that B2B buyers will likely to stick with using digital channel in the upcoming years. So this trend is here to stay. So moving on to the second stat, 67% of B2B buyers start their purchase journey online. So when it comes to search for a specific product, search for a solution or a vendor, then it's a supplier's website and mobile application that have been the most. And the third observation I want to share is about switching suppliers. So 40% of B2B buyers saying that they have switched their suppliers in the last 12 months. So B2B customers are not as loyal as we may think they are. And the top 5 reasons why they are switching suppliers include contracting terms, price and cost, and then speed and convenience. So that is the 3 top reasons behind this trend. And it's also not surprising for me to see that elements like transactional or bad checkout experience or bad online experience have also popping up in the top 10 list reason. So retaining customers, as you can see, have become a huge challenge for B2B sellers, and it requires efforts from all of customer touch points. So it's a good news that, in fact, we have seen research showing that B2B vendors are investing in their digital channels. So here are a few stats. 63% of B2B vendors say that they are investing in new websites or in new site features such as personalization or customization to their existing website if there is. And then 59 out of them say that e-commerce platform and applications are in the top 3 technology budget for their upcoming years. So look at the statistics, then we can see that the rise of digital buying is no longer a nice to have, but a must have for your B2B customers. So behind the pandemic and the working from home habit, then what are the main drivers behind this trend? So from what we have seen, millennials are maturing to replace baby boomers and take decision-making positions in their company. And so it's the truth we have to face that millennials are somewhat more digitally advanced than their previous generation, and they are more fond of a digital first buying approach other than the traditional way of talking to sales rep, as you can see in the past. So sales rep is no longer the sole channel where we can talk to a B2B company, but it's just one of the so many other possible channels out there. And because of this, sales organizations, they have to be able to sell to customer everywhere the customer expects to engage or interact or transact with you. That is why we are talking about the multiple channel buying, as you can see on the screen here. So again, millennials are so much more digitally savvy than baby boomers, and they encounter amazing B2C experience like all the time, and they expect the same ability to get information, to place order, to self-serve, and also to transact online the same way that they are doing for B2C, and they are more likely to be frustrated with manual processes. But manual processes were the main way that we were doing business in the past. So what does it look like? So in the past, customers depend heavily on sales reps to get information and get support with their purchasing process. And it's a surprise to us that these days, so many B2B merchants are still stuck in this traditional approach to selling because they have been in business for decades. They keep the same approach to sales and to partnerships. Orders and transactions are being done via offline channel, for example, over the phone, via fax, via emails, and in-person meetings with the customers. But that is no longer the case. So what are the new way of doing business? So now when businesses and enterprise purchasers are shifting to online buying with increasing expectation, they expect more in terms of online experience, in terms of convenience, in terms of transparency and informational availability. So to meet with customer demands, then many companies are required to interact with customers through any touch point out there, including both offline channel and also online channel. So one of those is bringing a real e-commerce experience to their B2B customers. So B2B purchasers, they can now browse product catalog online directly from the website, send RFQ, place the order, or make any kind of payment directly on the supplier's website. They no longer have to talk to sales rep or they have to meet up on the field, but any negotiations or any process here can be done without depending on manual work, and everything is on the e-commerce website of those vendors. So following this trend, there is an interesting stat from the Gartner Future of Sales 2025 report saying that it is projected that over the next 5 years, the number of digital interactions between buyers and also suppliers will skyrocket to 80%, as you can see there. So you know what to expect for the future. So like I have mentioned before, it's a good sign that many B2B vendors are investing in implementing or improving their digital channels. And e-commerce website is a very, very big part of this investment. But it's sad for us to see that many B2B sellers are not actually doing that much of a good job with their online website, because there are statistics showing that global B2B buyers are frustrated with buying products online. The main reason here is that the lack of functionality or the lack of good experience on the website are making them feel like that it's actually more complicated to buy product online than offline. So it seems to us that maybe some B2B buyers are more digitally advanced than their vendors. So if you look at this stat, then maybe you can take a look back at your e-commerce websites and see if they are performing, if they are enough, or if the customer are happy with the website. And why does it happen? So there is a traditional trait of traditional B2B sellers that they tend to forget to keep the customer at the core of everything that they do. So this is the issue that we would like to ask B2B vendors to address as soon as you can. So that leads us to the second part of the webinar, which is about customer-centric. So to recap on the first session before we move on, offering an online buying experience for your B2B customers is no longer optional, but it's a must if you want to keep up with your customer expectation. So whatever digital strategy that you have in mind, whatever system that you plan to use or to develop, then customer experience have to be at the core of all of that, and play a big part of the B2B buying journey. The e-commerce websites have to be, powerful enough to offer a seamless customer experience, support the complexity when it comes to product handling, pricing structure, core processes, cross-geography logistic or credit management, etc., etc. And then we will discuss about that a little bit stage of the webinar today. So like I said, in the second section, we will discuss a little bit more about customer-centric approach to digital commerce and why it is important in the B2B world. So we all see that B2B vendors acknowledge that it's a huge challenge to retain customers given their high rates of switching suppliers. Even though a customer, they have been staying with you for, let's say, decades, then it doesn't mean that they're going to stay with you forever. So why does this happen? First of all, the rising cost of inflation, the cost of living crisis have made B2B buyers more inclined to look for more, cost-effective solutions. And it's not to mention that there are so many rising new vendors today that are actually better at adapting technology to better their service to the customer. So like I said, if you talk about customer-centric, then the customer have to be at the heart of everything that you do. Any digital strategy or any business growth strategy you have in mind. And to build a customer-centric experience for the customer, then you need to know your customers. So every single touch point matters. How do you know your customers? The easiest way to get around this is just to ask them directly of, okay, what do you want? What do you like when it comes to shopping with us? And then you can build the e-commerce experience based on their feedback with you. So that is one approach that you can consider. But for me personally, then I am more fond of a data-driven approach. So we can collect and use customer behavior data and then create a personalized and targeted content for the customers. For example, showing the relevant product search, recommend the right product to the right customers. That is going to help you increase the engagement with your brand and then help you increase the sales value from that customer and also loyalty along the way. So like I said, I love data. So to back this up, here are a few statistics. So 75% of viewer activity on Netflix is driven by its personalized recommendation engine. And for Amazon, 30% of their revenue is generated by the personalized product recommendations algorithms. All of these recommendation engines are built from collect data, huge data from the customer, and then it helps them understand the customer behavior, and then they show the thing that the customer wants to see. Okay, so we have been talking a lot about a customer-centric approach to serving your customer. But what does the actual customer journey look like? So it's actually a little bit annoying for us to see that there is a common misconception from our audience that B2B e-commerce is just simply an enhanced B2C model. That is not true at all. Because you know what? The B2B buying journey is much more complex with multiple buyers, multiple suppliers and partners, and they are engaging with your brand through hundreds of interactions and digital channels you have. So let's understand a bit more about the B2B customer journey. So for the simplest model we share on the screen here, the B2B and the B2C buying journey share some similar steps, but the customer behavior and actions are vastly different in each of these steps here for B2B and B2C. So on the first step, awareness. So B2B buyers, they already have like a particular problem, particular product or issue they have in mind before they start searching for a product or a solution that can help them with their issue. But that for B2C, that is, I don't think most of the case here. For B2C, it's more of a marketing-driven approach, and many of them tend to have like a very emotional and quick decision-making process. It's not the case for B2B, I would say. And then from discovering to making a decision, then it's a long time for B2B. Sometimes it takes some weeks, it takes some months, and even it takes years before they can finally sign off on a solution. So they have to get proposals from several vendors, make comparisons to carefully see and decide what is the best solution for them. And once they have, like see something that is actually maybe the best, they have to go through multiple approval layers before they can finally sign off with a vendor or a solution. But for B2C, it's so much more easier. Let's say that oftentimes orders are made from impulsive decision. Let's say that I see a dress that I really like, then maybe I can check out like in a few minutes. But for B2B, maybe it takes months and years, like I have mentioned before. And for B2B, once the customer have signed up with you, it doesn't mean that their journey will end there, but actually it's more of a start. I would say repeat ordering process now come into place, and it has to be smooth, has to be convenient, and automation wherever it is possible, along with any loyalty program that you can offer to them, customer engagement activities to maintain or even increase their satisfaction with your brand so that they stay with you. Okay, so you can see that the B2B e-commerce website plays an important role throughout the whole B2B customer journey. So what contributes to a B2B customer-centric e-commerce experience? So from my opinion and our opinion, we would like to name a few things that we find are the most important ones here. So first of all, streamline and automated purchasing and transaction processes. So this is a must-have. Either it is for B2C or it is for B2B. You would need to have like a B2B focused feature to cater your B2B customer needs, because it's not the same with B2C. So a specific flow or customer flow for B2B is a must-have here. And then the second thing, which I consider to be one of the most important factor, which is personalized experience. So if you want to offer a personalized experience to the customer, you need to know a lot about them. So I would suggest that you would need to look into an engine that can help you collect data, get deep insights into your customer behavior, preferences, and then smartly utilize those data to provide a personalized recommendations, content, search results, customized options, or product or catalog, etc., to your customer. That is what we call customer-centric. Third one would be information consistency across all sales channels. So as we have talked a lot previously, customers are engaging or interacting with your brand through a lot of channels here. So from in-person channels like sales rep to any digital channels you have, for example, e-commerce website, corporate website, etc., then your data throughout all of these channels have to be consistent. So a seamless integration between this system you have in-house, they should be up to date and always consistent to ensure that you are offering the same content to the same customer. Last but not least, we would like to talk about the support from the sales rep or the pre-sales or post-sales team here. So just because the customer prefer digital channels, it doesn't mean that they don't need your support. And now you have a lot of tools that help you collect data from your customer. So it is a lot easier and a lot more informative for you to provide like consultation or advice to your customers based on what you have seen from them or what the market trends are. So how do we build a B2B website that is customer-centric? So let's get that answer in the next part of our webinar. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, Hayley from Adobe. Hayley is going to share with us about Adobe Commerce Solution and how this platform can make building a customer-centric website so much easier for you. Hi, Hayley, over to you.
Hi, thanks, Jane. Let me take over the screen right now. All right, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, depending on where you are, and thank you for signing up for this webinar. So in my section today, I'll be sharing with you on how Adobe Commerce is ready for your B2B business and what are some of the possible use cases you can explore in your B2B business. So why is B2B commerce important? I understand that Jane has already highlighted the importance, but I just want to reiterate, right? So today, your customer expect a digital-first relationship, especially after the pandemic. We have seen the importance of having an online presence. And by that, it's not just about having an e-commerce site, but a digital presence to let your prospect or your customers actually know you. But unfortunately, right, most firms are actually falling short of this expectation. In fact, 94% of industry professionals say that their company is not meeting their customers' digital expectations. And for B2B companies, right, this problem is even greater. And like what Jane mentioned, 80% of our B2B interactions between buyers and suppliers will take place in digital channel by 2025. And this digital first expectation show up in many, many ways. So first of all, buyers are more than willing than before to actually spend big through remote or online sales channel, with 35% of them actually saying that they're willing to spend 500,000 and above in a single transaction. And 77% actually said that they're also willing to spend at least $50,000 through online transaction. And 80% of B2B buyers will actually look for a different supplier if they cannot purchase in the channel that they want. They also expect access to information, with 41% of the B2B buyers actually rate a vendor's website as their #1 resource for making purchase decision. And 70% of the B2B buying journey is completed even before a B2B buyer actually contact your sales team. So in order to address this digital first expectation, companies must deliver a B2B buying portal. So a B2B buying portal provides your customers with a seamless purchasing experience and can deliver significant financial impact. In fact, companies can increase their customer retention by 85% when they offer self-service e-commerce. They can reduce their cost to serve customers by 98% by actually automating this manual task. And they can increase customer satisfaction by 86% when implementing self-service e-commerce. And this is where Adobe can help you. So Adobe Commerce delivers automated self-service B2B buying experiences at scale on the most flexible and agile platform. Global manufacturers and distributors use Adobe Commerce to transact billions of dollars online, direct with their end customers and together with their channel partners. So studies of Adobe Commerce have cited that customers can achieve a 247% return on investment, increase their revenue by 29%, and see at least $6 million in average annual benefit. Companies choose Adobe Commerce because we deliver the most complete and flexible e-commerce solution in the market. So as you can see on my screen, leading analyst firm cites that Adobe Commerce as a leading e-commerce solution because of our rich capabilities, the global application ecosystem, and our leadership in B2B commerce. So what do we mean when we say most complete and flexible e-commerce solution in the market? First of all, we have a robust B2B and B2C capabilities from one single platform. So with our platform, it's not just only catering to B2B, but also B2C. So in a single platform, you can cater to both different channels. And also a single platform for managing multiple brands, product lines, business unit, etc. And it's not only flexible, but also composable, utilizing our headless API and composable architecture. We also deliver the most personalized e-commerce solution in the market, allowing you to actually personalize content, promotions, and product recommendation throughout the entire B2B buying journey. It is also integrated with Adobe's industry-leading experience, cloud platform and marketing solution, and of course, our global partner and marketplace ecosystem reduces the risk of a single vendor dependency and allow you to actually scale out your solution. Now, moving on to introduce to you the key B2B features that comes out of the box with Adobe Commerce. So what do we have out of the box just for B2B? First of all, we have customer-specific pricing. So as we all know in B2B, different companies would have negotiated special pricing, and this can be reflected on the platform when the B2B customer log in. They will only see the pricing that is specially negotiated for them. Secondly, RFQ, request for quotation. This allows your B2B customers to actually raise an RFQ request, and your sales rep will be notified to follow up. This is especially good if you have new products or customers whom your sales rep might not be able to reach out to. The customer will still be able to go to your site and reach you via the platform and start the RFQ process. Thirdly, company accounts. So this actually allows your B2B customer admin to manage their own business structure and use it because they know themselves the best. And we have account registration that allows your customers to register for account access. So your sales rep might not have the bandwidth to reach out to every possible prospect. But marketing activity still goes on, and you need a platform for the customers to reach out to you. So having this online platform that allows your prospect to know you and register with you for further conversation is definitely the best way to go forward. And we have something called a quick order. And as we all know, right, some B2B buyers, they are our frequent buyers, and they already know what they want to purchase. So instead of having to search for the product, we allow them to actually order through something called quick order, whereby they can choose to import a CSV or enter the SKU number, then quickly click on checkout and make their purchase, just within a few clicks. Then we have something called purchase order. We know some companies actually requires a PO for their purchase, and this capability is built in and can be leveraged on if required. Then we talk about product recommendation, which is powered by Adobe Sensei. The platform delivers AI-powered recommendation to help increase the average order value and, of course, the conversion rate. And credit limit. You will be able to set spending limits for each of the B2B customer depending on their credit rating. And lastly, something called is seller-assisted shopping. So this is a feature whereby your sales rep can log in as your customers to provide assistance to the customers to complete the purchase. So this will allow your sales rep to actually offer exceptional service and support your customer along the buying journey. And of course, our platform has this multi-site architecture to support your business growth and expansion plans. And it also supports multi-currency and languages. The platform also allows you to set up your store for pick in store option if you have any. And of course, there is also integration of your catalog to Amazon and Walmart marketplaces to allow you to manage your catalog from a single platform. And when it comes to composable and extensibility, right, Adobe Commerce also supports headless commerce by allowing you to optimize experiences using GraphQL APIs, deliver with any front end, including PHP, PWA Studios, Adobe AEM, or any other custom front end. And recently, we have just released something called the Adobe App Builder that allows you to actually build event-driven, cloud-native apps to extend the functionality of Adobe Commerce without impacting the Adobe Commerce core platform. We also have something called the PWA Studio that allows you to create modern mobile-first storefront using our PWA Studio. And lastly, our extension marketplace. We have more than 3,000 extensions from our community to help extend your Adobe Commerce platform. In terms of cloud flexibility, so Adobe Commerce can be deployed on either Azure or AWS. And we do have something called the auto scaling that automatically increase or decrease the infra resources based on the changing demand. And we have also something called the site-wide analysis tool that do real-time system insights into the site health, security, and application configurations. Right, so that is the key features that we have for the B2B features out of the box for Adobe Commerce Platform. And now I will share the more interesting portion, which is the possible B2B use cases that you can explore with. So there are 4 core use cases that I want to share today that we see most of our manufacturer and distributor leveraging Adobe Commerce for. So this actually allows you to automate the purchase process of buyers, give your sales rep digital tools to drive sales, and integrate marketing and e-commerce experiences together to drive lead generation and pipeline creation. So first of all, we'll talk about launching a B2B buying portal. So this allows your company to actually automate the purchase process for buyers. As you can see on my screen, we have Silk Air, who is a manufacturer that implemented a B2B buying portal for the distributors. And now 80% of their catalog can be purchased online through this dedicated commerce and support portal. Secondly, enhanced digital selling, which gives the sellers the access or the sellers the access to customer behavior, codes, and co-browsing capabilities to drive orders and large opportunities. So in our example here, L'Oreal actually operates independent franchise stores in the beauty supply industry. And they have 180 trained sales reps and operators that leverage the Adobe Commerce solution to visit with customers, restock shelf, and supply customers with the product that they need. Thirdly, we talk about adding commerce to your web experience channel. So in our example here, you can see Adobe has integrated their e-commerce experiences into their web marketing experiences under a single journey. So this allows their customers to view the product information, request a code, and make purchases. So in addition to the top of the funnel marketing journey that Adobe has already invested, this sees Adobe reduce the website bounce rate by 40%. And lastly, we talk about B2B2B or even B2B2C. So this is where Adobe Commerce is used to support selling through your channel or dealer network. So for example, our customer like Parker actually allows end customers to purchase from their online part counter, but give the sales and order fulfillment to their dealer. So they have integrated with 11 different dealer systems so that they could supply their parts to the end user of the truck and equipment through their dealers and not around their dealers. So they're working hand in hand with their dealers and distributors. All right, so now let's go through each of these use cases and a little bit more detail so you understand how you can use Adobe Commerce to achieve your objective. So the first one we talk about is actually launching this B2B commerce buying portal. So this is actually the first step in transforming your B2B purchasing experience. You can increase operational efficiency by reducing call center volume or automating the manual ordering process when you give your B2B buyer an online purchase option. You can also improve the customer experience and drive top-level revenue growth. So Adobe Commerce allows you to create an automated process for your customers to register for account, search for the product they're looking for, view the product information, including the pricing and inventory, and you can enable direct purchase or requests for quotation, and the customer can pay on account. And like I mentioned, they can manage their buyers in their B2B organization to approve purchases and expand the use of the B2B buying portal. So what's the value of this B2B buying portal? This means that your business will be 24/7 online, right? You have an online business that never sleeps, and it gives your customer access to product, inventory, unique pricing, and support in a single portal. and business reduce operational expenses from this manually processing orders via phone, fax, or even emails. So the second use case we talk about is actually enhancing digital selling with B2B commerce. So 94% of B2B digital makers says that, omni-channel selling, including digital selling, is more effective than traditional selling, offline selling. So giving your sales rep digital selling tools make them more efficient and drive more sales through the organization. So with Adobe Commerce, right, you can give your sales rep access to customer behavior, their codes, the co-browsing tool to drive order and large opportunity. So basically, customer can submit their codes and sales rep can respond to them all within the same Adobe Commerce platform. Sales rep can also take a digital version of the product catalog with them on site with customer, and they can compare product and help customer make purchase decision while they do the visit. And sales rep can also interact with customers directly who are browsing on Adobe Commerce, log in as them, help them resolve issues as they shop on your online portal, and then place the order on their behalf. So all of this actually shows that the value of this digital selling is your sales rep can assist their B2B customers using the request for code, co-browsing mode, find product, check inventory, and place order. And they can also bring the entire product catalog with inventory availability with them to the customer visit or during online meetings. And this means that you are actually offloading hundreds of thousands of hours of manual work from your sales reps and agents. The third use case that we're talking about is adding your e-commerce capabilities to your web experience platform. So this actually allows your marketing organization to increase lead gen and user engagement by adding product inventory and purchase option to a solution like Adobe Experience Manager. All right. Some of the core areas where customers are driving new leads and digital sales is powerful lead forms from Adobe Experience Manager. You can see the lead forms, whereby the ability to request a quote, add to cart, and check out from a single web channel. So this allows you to have the user view product and purchase without going from one web experience to another. All right. And this is all done by unlocking the Adobe Commerce headless APIs. So now your front end is delivered by Adobe Experience Manager, which is what we call the AEM. And you tap into all of the commerce capabilities of Adobe Commerce within your solution. So this is what your B2B buyers are expecting. They expect you to provide product availability online. They also expect to see product pricing online without negotiation, and they see your primary web property as the most important and influential channel in their purchase decision. So what is the value of doing this, right? It increases sales by capturing buyer behavior on product searches, right? You know where they browse, what specific product that they engage with. You're able to generate leads by providing a single source for your product catalog and purchasing options. And you're able to replace multiple CMS and e-commerce platform with one vendor, right? So the last use case that we talk about is the B2B2B or B2B2C commerce, right? So as B2B commerce becomes a critical part of any company's business strategy, right? Companies will face channel conflict constraint in how they sell online, either directly to end customers or through working with your dealers or distributors. So the first option is to actually host e-commerce website for dealers to fulfill orders that are placed from end customers, acting like a middleman for your dealers and end customers. Another option is to actually host a marketplace for buyers and dealers to connect with one another, right? And the third option is to actually provide a B2B buying portal for your distributors and channel partners so that they can purchase directly from you and ship the product directly to our customers that they are servicing, right? These three options allow customers to tap into the opportunity of B2B commerce while integrating their dealers and channel partners into their digital experience strategy. So what is the value of this use case, right? You are able to transform customer experience while maintaining harmony with your channel partners. You're able to also gather first-party data about your end customer needs and wants. So this is really important right now, gathering your first-party data, and also allows you to expand your direct-to-customer e-commerce relationship, all right? And with that, these are just some use cases, that we have seen some of our customers implemented. And of course, you're not restricted to this. You can definitely explore beyond these use cases, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you to really understand your business and how we can actually help you in your business. All right. And with that, that's the end of my section. And I'll now hand it back over to Jane.
Thank you, Hailey. Very, very informative and insightful about Adobe's solution. So moving on, in the last piece of our webinar content, I would love to tell you a story of an actual case of how our customer has successfully leveraged Adobe Commerce solution to transform their B2B customer journey. So IAV Shops belong to Integrate AV, a leading Australian company providing audio and visual products and services to clients throughout the whole region. So that IAV delivers end-to-end solutions from project inception to design to delivery and ongoing service and support to the B2B sectors, including commercial enterprises, educational institutions, government agencies, and also to the B2C sector. So previously, all of IAV sales and interactions and trading activities were being done offline via email, via phone, and a team of sales reps visiting the clients on the field. And then as IAV gains more brand recognition through their excellent product and service, through attending many trade shows throughout Australia and their customer networks, the company management have seen that there are limitations that are slowing down their expansion. And the main challenge have been detected to be the limited resources for them to undertake orders and jobs due to their traditional offline approach to doing business that require tremendous human resources. So to expand business size and capture a new market, IAV has decided to develop an online store that is designed to fulfill and facilitate sales from the customers, allow their current and new customers to access and buy products and services online. So after months of consideration, then IAV has decided to choose Adobe Commerce Cloud as the platform and Magenest as the implementation partner to make this happen. And Magenest and Adobe has helped IAV build a website that allowed their customers to browse, search, compare product, request for quote, place orders, manage their credit directly on the website without having to wait for sales rep support. Customer account creation can now be automated. The prospective customers can just fill out an online form with their business information, and their accounts is revealed and approved by the admin, sending automatic notification to the customer saying that your account has been rejected, your account has been approved. So it makes it so much easier for them to bring on new businesses. And more importantly, Adobe Commerce has provided a platform that allows IAV to deploy and maintain multiple e-commerce websites catering to their different customer sectors. So you can see here, one for the retail customers, another for education, another for commerce sector, and the last one is for local and government agencies. Each of these websites have their own interface, their own product assortment, inventory, and pricing. So let's say that I am a retail customer. I go into IAV website, I will see the retail price of all those products. But if I go into the remaining 3 B2B websites, then I will not see the product's price until I log into my account, which has to be approved by the admin. And the product pricing here is tailored to each of the account, as you can see. So an interesting fact that I want to share is that IAV, they were not selling to retail customer before. The main reason is simply because they don't have the resources to do that, and it was too soon or too complicated for them to really serve the B2C customers. But now with the launch of the new website, they can do that so easily and bring on new revenue stream. Last but not least, the Adobe Commerce Cloud solution that they chose is a cloud-based solution. So it allows for high performance and ease of management with a lot of support from the Adobe team without having you to worry about managing your cloud server. So I hope that this story is inspiring enough for you to really make a change to transform your B2B customer journey. And thank you everyone for listening to us from the beginning. We will be taking a short 3-minute break before we go back and answer a question from our audience today. So a friendly reminder, if you have any questions, then just send them in the chat box and we can go through them. I'll see you back in 3 minutes. Okay, then we are back. So let's go through the questions from our audience today. So the first one, we received a question from Mr. Terence Raja. Terence is asking, can I understand the source of the statistic on the first slide? Is it C or is it global? So the statistic we have collected are from the two main reports. The first one is the 2023 B2B Commerce Growth Strategy Survey done by Adobe and Digital Commerce 360. And the other report that we collected the data from is the B2B Future Shopper Report 2023, made by Wunder. I can't remember the name of him, but that is the two reports that we have used. And I will also send you the link of those reports in the presentation deck. And you can go through the statistic there, which is very interesting, I would say. move on to the second question from a anonymous attendee. How do we best handle access to digital catalogs in areas with poor connectivity? Are PWAs the solution? I think that this is a very relevant question for the Adobe Commerce solution. So Hailey, can you help us out with this?
Yep. So typically PWA is the one of the solution because PWA is able to work offline and act like a native app on mobile. And typically, as a recommendation, once this has been built on PWA, right? We will recommend for the sales rep, right, before he starts his visit, he can actually do a product catalog sync. All right, and the moment he reaches the customer site and there's probably like no connection, he's still able to actually bring out the product catalog to actually work with the customers.
Yeah, I think PWA is a trend here. So many audience I think might be interested in this. So moving on to the next question. How does Adobe Commerce provide an up-to-date inventory position for the end customer? For example, in B2B, the retailer might want to buy 10 bags of fertilizers, and if I can't get enough of my regular supplier's website, I might have to build somewhere else. Hailey, do you think you can help us with that?
Yeah. So actually, Adobe Commerce has something called the multi-source inventory management features that helps you to maintain the quantities for sales and handle shipments to actually complete the orders. So you can actually track your inventory quantities, provide accurate saleable stock amount to customers for all your website, and then ship according to the recommendation based on distance or priority. So for example, if you have like multiple sources for a particular stock, right, you can also leverage on something called the aggregate saleable quantity feature. So aggregate saleable quantity refers to the total virtual inventory that can be sold through a sales channel across all the sources assigned to a stock. So, but some of our customers actually integrate to their ERP and do a daily update on the inventory availability. But also, we do understand that for B2B, right, the inventory and order fulfillment is complex due to the nature and the lead time required. So, for some customers, right, we do actually recommend them to explore inventory and order management solution to allow them to actually display near real-time inventory tracking for their customers.
Okay, thank you for that, Hailey. Moving on to the next question. What is the most easy way to produce high quality personalized content? So I would love to answer this question from Max. So previously, I have mentioned that if you want to build a personalized experience for your customers, then you would need data, like a lot of data, which is going to help us have an insight into your customer needs and behavior. And once you have got that, then it's the question of how you can use those data to bring personalized content to each of the customers that you have. So let's take an example that you can put your customers into like smaller segments based on their own characteristics, for example, age, location, search behavior, etc. And then you can implement some kind of personalization strategy to make them feel special. For example, searching, for example, personalized homepage based on the customer profile, recommend the relevant product to based on their searching or browsing behavior, sending some kind of personalized marketing content to them, like packing stock, product reminder, offering discounts, or some kind of bundling you have to a product or a catalog that they are interested in, etc., etc. And I know that it might take a little bit of time for you to collect data and then set up segments, set up campaign before you can actually do something to the customers. So I would actually suggest you to look into some kind of available personalization AI tool out there that help you track customer data in real time and provide personalized experience also in real time. So it can reduce like a lot of manual work you have to do. So for example, one available tool out there, Adobe Commerce, they have what they call the Adobe Sensei tool that powers the commerce product recommendation machines, offering like lightning fast personalization live search tool for the customers right from the platform without you having to set up anything. So that is something very interesting that I would like to share.
Yep, if I could add on to Jane's point, right? if Julie is talking about, producing like content, personalized content, right? Like for example, they are a first-time user, they will be entitled to certain discount and so on and so forth, right? So within Adobe Commerce itself, right, we do have this kind of tools for you to do this. So first of all, we have something called the segments. It allows you to actually create customer segments based on certain customer attribute or even their purchase history. Then you can leverage on this segment to create something called the content on dynamic block. So depending on the customer segment that you have created and certain rules, you want to display dynamic content just to this particular customer segment. And this content can be easily built using something called the page builder. So within page builder, there are many elements. You can put in images, sliders, videos. So leveraging on this page builder, you can easily create all this content to be displayed on the storefront for your customers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think we have time for another question. So this one is from Addison. I am very much interested in the B2B capability of Adobe Commerce. So can you let me know the usual price range for implementing your solution to my system?
Yeah, so for the price, I'm afraid I can't really give you a pricing right now, because we need to understand your use cases and also go through like certain sizing questions to understand the demand on the infra. So, but however, what I can share is, this pricing is the pricing matrix is based on GMV, which is the gross merchandise value, and it goes by tier. So yeah. So if anything, just let us know, engage us, let us know your use case, and then we can discuss further.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to share with you Hailey's contact as well. So if you want a quote from Adobe, then you can just reach out to Hailey directly. And I think we have time for the last question here. So how long does it usually take to build an e-commerce website for B2B? So I think I can be able to answer this question. So the timeline to build an e-commerce website or any website can vary a lot, and it depends on the requirements from you. So if you choose like a platform like Adobe Commerce with a complete set of B2B features, and it's going to save you significant time in terms of development. So let's say that for a very simple website with a simple design and not many customization, then I would say around 2 months would be enough for you to build an initial website up and running to sell to the customer. And then we can continue to fine-tune the system, make it more perfect as you run the site. So that is for a simple website. For a more complicated one, let's say with a great detailed design, more complex customer flows, or third-party system integration, then it might take more time, from 3 months and up. I know that it can be very generic and very ballpark. So if you have a project in mind and would need advice on the timeline and cost, then please contact me directly and I can help you wherever I can. So actually our time is almost up. So we will get back to you on the remaining questions after the webinar. We will also send you this presentation deck along with some tips to help you with your search for a suitable e-commerce platform solution. I would like to send a million thanks to our audience today, and I hope that our content has been useful to you. So if you are looking for advice or guidance on your e-commerce transformation journey, then we're here to help. Thanks again for joining us, and please stay tuned for our upcoming events. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hailey.